The people want to hear the story.
Shut you all in chat.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So, pretty much I was sitting around having some drinks with these guys back before he lost his voice, and he asked me, so you ever been engaged? Would you ever propose to a woman? I said, well, I actually did once. He goes, okay, well, how did it go? What happened to the wedding? Did you ever get married? And it's a very, very unusual story, but I think I don't know if I made her life better or worse, or if I made mine better or worse, but it was a very unusual play, I decided. So it was a very complicated story. So what happened was this. When I was 19, there was this really beautiful girl. She lived in Slovakia. I dated her a bit at 19. I simply did not have the finance to continue the relationship because I couldn't afford to go to her town and see her. So many years later, as I come up in the world, I get in touch with a bunch of people who I used to know. This girl's still very beautiful. She's still stunning. She's living in Dubai. She's working as a cabin crew. Before anyone asks. So in Dubai, if they're working as cabin crew or in a retail store, good. If they're there influencing, be careful. So this girl's working as cabin crew in Dubai. And I meet her when I went there for the first arm surgery. And, you know, I take her out for dinner. That's it. Nothing happens between us. And I found myself missing her. I think, oh, man, I can't wait to go back and see that girl again. She's a really wonderful girl. And I just knew from the get-go that it was never going to work out. I mean, she's now had fucking 10 years since I last saw her. She was still a very good-looking girl, but I knew it wasn't the kind of girl I was probably going to end up marrying or getting out or ending up being with for a very long time. So I think both of us knew, me especially, that whatever relationship we formed was going to be temporary. So knowing that it was going to be temporary, and there's nothing wrong with getting into something that you know is going to be temporary if you're going to enjoy it at the time, I thought, how can I squeeze the most juice out of this and make it as beautiful and as memorable as possible? Because it's probably going to end in tears one way or another. Because I don't live in Dubai. You know, she's cabin crew. She's always flying all around the world. She's never going to come to Romania. She doesn't speak the language here. So I'm drinking one night with a few friends of mine. Shout out to Boris. Shout out to Shooter. And I walk past on my way back from the bathroom this jewelry store inside of this hotel. So this was I hadn't slept with this girl in 10 years. I hadn't had sex with this girl in over 10 years. And this was our second date. I'd only just got back. It was my first day there. And I saw her and I've been kissing her and it was all the old feelings were coming back. So shit, I think, you know what? Fuck it. So I buy this engagement ring. It cost me $3,000 something. Before anyone starts saying simp, and I'm going to say again, fair exchange of value, I got my fucking share of value. But and also not bragging, $3,000 to me is like it's zero. Like it's a third of the price of a night out. So think about it that way. So I buy this beautiful diamond ring. And we're sitting there with all my friends drinking champagne, reminiscing about old times. We're sitting on the beach. And I pull out this ring and I ask her to marry me. The waitress goes crazy. Everyone goes crazy. My friends are shocked. They have no idea what I'm doing. They've never seen this kind of move before. And the look on her face, her eyes lit up. And she said, you know what, Tristian, you were always the one for me. Yes, I will marry you. I put the ring on her finger. Now, it ended in tears, as I knew it always would. But let me tell you something. That night is a night. That was her peak happiness in her whole 30 years or 31 years that she's been alive. I don't know how old she is exactly. I should know that if I've been engaged to her, but I don't. But let me tell you, that night was her peak happiness. I brought so much joy into her life. She had never been so happy. Now, the sex that we had that night and for the week and the 10, 12 days that the engagement lasted after that, the places I took her, you know, wearing that ring proudly on her finger, it was going to last 2 weeks anyway, but it was a magical 12 weeks. I was writing a love story IRL, and it was so beautiful, and nobody has ever got the value out of that girl that I got. And I don't believe anyone has ever made her happier than I made her in those 12, 13 days. Anyway, it ended badly. Anyway, I don't live in Dubai, so shit happens. But yeah, I did propose and she did say yes, and I was engaged. And apparently she told me she threw the ring away, but whatever. She was heartbroken at the end of it. But I was heartbroken too. You know, I was really enjoying it. It was a very pleasant fiction to be living in. So yeah, I have been engaged. I have proposed before. And I feel like a lot of women in the world use the engagement ring and the marriage as a bait for men and a way to trap men and maybe to extract value from men. You know, oh, well, we can't do this until we get married, or if you put a ring on my finger, then maybe I'll do this. And I just feel like, you know, I've taken that weapon, that same tool,
yeah,
and I used it to my advantage. now, but here's the thing, as I said, as sad as she was when it ended, that sadness was always coming because it was going to be a temporary relationship. But I'm telling you, her happiness peaked. That was probably the happiest week she's ever had in her entire life. And it was absolutely wonderful. And no man is ever going to make love to that woman and get the same commitment and value out of her in the bedroom. Just the way that she introduced me, the way I introduced her to my friends, the smile that was constantly painted on her face. No one is ever going to get that kind of value out of that same girl ever again. And if you're watching, baby, look, look, you really are a wonderful, wonderful girl. And it may have worked out but I took a shot in the dark, and I didn't really think it was going to work, and it didn't. But I had a wonderful week with you, baby. So if you're listening this, I hope that the smile and the feelings and the happiness I saw on your face was legit and real. I know it was, and I'm glad I could do that for you.
I'll tell you this, bro. Don the marker for that. I'll tell you this. She'll never forget you, bro. That's one I can say. She'll never forget you, bro.
Yeah, that is how you alpha widow a girl right there.
Help you Tate in the chat.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. Give us W's in the chat, guys.
I'm dropping
City Boy stuff.
I'm dropping exclusives tonight. This is fresh and fit, man. I haven't spoken about that ever. But yeah, this is fresh and fit.